Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got something a little bit different here today. We are going to be doing a little Ashton Corners tutorial video. There's quite a few people that have been playing on this map, along with myself, but MRG added a lot of different features to this map that aren't common in most maps. So and I haven't really found much of a tutorial out there for anything really on this map, so I figured if we want to, if people want to keep playing on this, and I know it can be frustrating when you can't really figure out the different things on the map, so I am here to help out a little bit if you are one of those people. So we'll start with feeding. So we'll kind of just feed alongside, or we'll kind of do it as we go. So, which could make this video kind of longer, but that's okay. I'll try and add like timestamps and stuff in the video so you guys can kind of figure that out. We're gonna pull the feeder wagon up. This is on my time-lapse save. The Dairy Farmers Challenge. So we're just gonna kind of use this save game as our tutorial map, I suppose. So I have my hay bales in here. This is how I make my TMR mix. Obviously there's plenty of different ways to make TMR mix, but this is how I've been doing it on this save. Because he did add some custom feed types, I guess, in this map. So I throw 2 bales in there, which gets it to about 60% in this particular feed wagon. This feed wagon is a private mod through BSL's Patreon, so unfortunately looks like we had one fall, so we'll use a little super strength to get this one back in there. So as we come around, we have these Harvestores. They are productions in the menu, so we'll go to our productions. So these are our Harvestores on this farm. So this one is the farthest one from us right now. This one's the next one, and this one, the last one, is this smaller one. So I filled all of them when we were chopping earlier in this series. So when you use these Harvestor silos, you have to turn them on. So there's this box here that will turn off and turn on the Harvestor. And you can, when it's off, the green light is on. And when it's on, it's off, I believe. I know it's kind of backwards, but there you go. So when I'm making my TMR mix, I throw 2 bales in, 2 square bales in, the biggest size, which brings it to 60%. And then I fill this with silage from the Harvestor up to 90%. So all of these Harvestors are the same, where you have to turn them on the sides. Looks like we are out of feed because I just fed them last night, so we have to come down here and use what's in here. And then when you are filling these, you have to make sure that you're activating them on the productions. It's just the same as any production. You have to activate it so it produces what it's supposed to produce. I bring that up to 92%. And then we pull around here. This is obviously just the tutorial on the main farm. So then we pull around, and this is your molasses tank. And I put 2% in there. It fills pretty slow. Here, let's turn markers on so you can kind of see. Maybe they aren't going to turn on, but This, oh yeah, right here. So this is the filling point. You're going to bring this up to 2%, maybe a little bit over sometimes, 2.2. And then you can fill this by just standing under it, and you can fill it up. There's a lot, you can fill it up with a lot because you don't use a lot of molasses, so that's kind of nice. It's just a production where you can buy it and it fills up. And then we'll take you around to the process that I use for mineral feed. So mineral feed can be made through putting grain type crop into a mixer here. I guess the correct word is like a mill. I think that's what these are called. They're called mills. So the way I do it is I fill this hopper bin here with wheat or oat or barley. You can use all three, or either one of them. So when you do this, to do that, this is the only silo in this silo system that will take wheat or barley, because this silo system is also set up as a production. So there's 4 bins in the silo system, but 3 of them are set up as productions, and that is to simulate corn drying. So you can, or drying it at all. So the beans, you can put beans in there, you can put corn in there, and oats in there. That's it. But there's the 4th bin that can be filled with anything, and it acts as a regular bin that you see in most maps. So I put wheat in there, and then I will use it as my, let's see, we gotta get this unfolded. There you go. So with these little mills, you hit N to unfold them. I pull it up to I leave this gravity wagon under it all times. And then just for simplicity's sake here, we'll just, instead of grabbing another tractor, we'll just hook this up. We'll leave this there, and then you can fill this gravity wagon from this silo with wheat or whatever grain you have in there. And then you dump it into the feed mill, and it will start to fill, and it will turn the grain into mineral feed. We'll just fill it up all the way. We'll unhook from this. And then we will swing it back around. So I do like maps that have like these custom feed types. I don't know, it just adds something, a little extra. So this goes pretty quick out of here. So to use this, use your left mouse button. And you can go up and down or left and right to swing the little auger out. So I put in close to 2.2% again into this of mineral feed. And we're gonna come around. Pull up here, and this is the pit that I used for cracked corn, because that's another special feed type that is in this map that MRG added. Molasses and cracked corn are special feed types, and that is made through harvesting your corn, and you have an auger. Here, I will pause the video and set this up for you guys real quick. Okay, so this is the setup for the roller mill on this map. This is how you make CCM. You have to purchase this before you can actually use it. So, when you pull up with, say, I use gravity wagons on here, you pull up with your freshly harvested corn, and you dump it into this auger, and it'll dump down into the roller mill, and then it will use, it's a production, so it will be added to your production. So, you have your corn, and then you have to purchase inoculant. And that is found in pallets, I believe. Maybe big bags. Big bags. So the icon will just look like it's seeds, but it says inoculant bag. This is something added by MRG. You just buy it, and then you can pick it up, and you have to dump it in to the mill in order for it to work. It is kind of finicky at times. So then, your corn that is in here, I have a little bit of corn in here, I have my inoculant in here, it will turn it into cracked corn. And then you can hop in your other auger and you can start, or then you can fill it and it will dump it into the pit. Which then you can choose to compact it, or you don't have to compact it. I chose not to compact it. I use this bunk more like as a commodity bunk type of thing, where I just come in with my loader, which I have the Volvo loader, and I scoop it up, and it doesn't take a lot. Dump it in there. Turn brown for me, so I know that it's turned into the right feed mix. So that's how you do CCM. That was one thing that it kind of took me a second to figure out. And you come around, and this is where you feed this barn. This is where I have my calves. This is a private edit of the map. I used the Hofbergman animals, extracted them from that map, and put them in here. If you want to know how to do that, Farmer Bob has a really good video on his YouTube channel on how to do it. That's how I learned how to do it. So you just feed them there. Come around. We are going to feed the main barn on this one. And this is where the milkers are on my save at the moment. I have the gate already open. They are completely out of feed from the overnight. You feed them here. So they are all fed up. At some point there is a fill plane that shows up in that. I think you have to reach a certain percent. We must have not reached it because, like I said, they were completely out. So that's feeding on this farm. Molasses, mineral feed, showed you how to do that, cracked corn. We went over how the Harvestores work. So now I will show you guys each pen and how the straw triggers work. Okay, so we have the bale shredder loaded up, and we are in the main dairy pen. So it's a bit of a weird trigger here. This is where I found it. It's right here. Like right at the gate, so you have to open both of these gates, and it just spits it in. It's really finicky. It's just like right there, spits it in there. So that is one of your triggers for the main dairy. We'll kind of just go through what the main dairy the triggers for this main dairy pen. So feed trigger here, bale trigger there, And then you have your manure that spawns in here that you can clean out, and you can open up these doors, and you can pull up a trailer as you... I think you've seen me do it before in a video if you watch the series, but I pull it up right here, as you can see by the spilt manure as well. But we have a little trailer, we unload it into that, and then we go dump it behind the slurry pit is where I store my manure. So these are the triggers in the main dairy. I have seen that there is a weird trigger right inside here. If we spawn a bale quick, square bale, straw. If we spawn a small bale, there's a straw trigger that's like right inside here. It's like right there. That takes it as well. And I don't know what... I don't know if that goes towards this barn or what. I don't know. It's a weird one. So there's this small one here. So like say you're doing small bales or something, you can pull a trailer up or something right into here and grab them and bed your cows this way too. Yeah, so I don't know if you might be able to drive a skid steer in here with a bale and drop it off too, but there is that trigger as well. So we will drive over to the heifer barn is technically what it's called on the map. We'll back up because there's two triggers here as well, I believe. So there's this one where you can drive by and you shred your bale. So here, that works that way, right? But then there's also a trigger inside, I believe. We'll just use the super strength. Is it inside? Yeah, it's right here. It's like right in here. So you can just drop a bale as well. Right here by this fence. If you don't want to shred your bales. In this pen, the manure trigger is you open these gates and it spawns right here. You can see all the manure that I didn't fully clean up. So that's where your manure spawns in this shed. And then you can open this gate or this door, pull your trailer up or your manure spreader, and you just load in right there. It's actually really handy. I really like that feature that MRG added to that. So I think that's pretty much it. We can cover the pigs. So the pig food trigger on these pig sheds, you have to take a conveyor. Or I believe Lazy Modding has a feed trailer, like a big feed trailer with the auger that comes out that you can just drop it in, but you have to put a auger up and you load your feed into the auger and you do it that way. There's my cornstalk bale that has no texture on it right now, something I'm really struggling with at the time. And so that is that. Am I missing anything? The other pig shed is over here. So you feed your pigs in this pig shed with an auger, same thing. And then that's your slurry trigger. You can open up this gate. And your bale trigger is right inside these doors. So you can either back up your shredder or I believe you can just place a bale inside that door. But I'll show you. can shred your bales right in there. That's going to be your straw trigger for that. And I don't believe, do pigs produce manure? No, so pigs only produce slurry, I believe. Because I haven't seen anywhere where there's actual manure that spawns for these pigs. So I believe there's only slurry that you do for the pigs. And so that's all the animals. I will get set up and I will take you over how the bins work on this farm. So one quick thing before we move on to the bins, we'll go over the slurry pit here that is attached to the main dairy barn. This one right here, where I have my milking cows. There are triggers, so in order for this to work, it's on right now because I was just using it. So in order to turn this off, you have to turn this one off first, and then you can turn, okay, so turn that one on. Then you can turn, so there's two triggers, right? So to turn it on, you have to turn this one on, you have to turn the pump on, and then you turn the pipe on. To turn it off, you turn the pipe off, and then you turn the pump off. So you have to do that in order to use this slurry pit. Okay, so we are over here at the bins again, and I'm going to go over how these work. So, you run over here quick. You have your load trigger right here, which requires an auger. So you pull in my case, we pull gravity wagons up right here. This is actually very super smart. I love this, actually, this system. You turn your auger on. You pull up, you don't have to worry about like getting right over the auger, which is always a pain with anything to get right at the trigger, because then you can just pull your auger under your gravity wagon and make it line up with this. Dump in there, it'll dump in. When you're done, pull your auger up again, move your trailers to the next one. Put your auger back under it. I love it. It's so great. It's such a genius way to do it. Definitely one of my favorite bin systems I've used in Farming Simulator. So, say we've dumped our grain in, right? Or we haven't dumped our grain in, because first we have to come into this shed and we have to turn on the leg. So there's leg 1, leg 3, leg 2, leg 4. You can figure out which bin it goes to by standing right here by this piece on each bin, because this is where you unload your bins. In order to unload your bins, you have to pull your auger under this spout and turn on that bin in order to unload. So if you have stuff in here, or say you want to put your corn in this bin, you have to come over to here and you have to turn bin leg 3 on, and it will, once you dump in to the load point there, it will put your grain or whatever you're loading, it's got to either be corn, beans, or oats, into this bin. So it's really cool. It's an extra thing that MRG added that's just adds to the realism. So that's bin 3, right? Here you have bin 1. So in order to unload from here, you have to turn this on. It was already on. And put your auger under there, and then you unload from here. Right? So that's bin 1. Bin 2 is the big meridian bin. Here. So again, if you come over here by this unload auger, you can see that this is bin 2. Turn this on, you can unload from there. And then in order to put whatever you want, because this is the only bin you can put anything besides corn, beans, and oats in, you have to come in here. There is a switch for it to turn that leg on. It's leg 4. So you have to turn that on and it will go. You only can do one leg at a time, right? So this You have to make sure they're all off, and then you have to turn one on and it will go into it. So this one already has its own spout. It's already on. So that is the bins. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, please feel free to comment. If you have more in-depth questions, join my Discord. It will be in the link in the description of this video. So that's pretty much it for this farm. And we will move on over to the other farm, the white one, the heifer farm. It's the heifer farm in this series, but it can just be your main farm or whatever in the and however you play. So we'll get over there, and I will go over that farm as well. Alright, so we are over here at the other farm, the last farm we're going to do a tutorial on today. If people want me to, I can do a tutorial up on this farm and this farm, just to show people how they work and whatnot. But we're here on this farm, which is the central dairy, or well, I guess that's, yeah, so I just call it central dairy because that's what it's called. So it's the middle or it's kind of the middlemost farm, I guess. Well, not really, but anyway, we're up here on this farm. So if this is the farm you're playing on, this is for you. So we have our mixer filled with all the right things besides the silage. So for this farm, you have to back in to this little shed under the auger here, and you fill here. It will fill with silage. It's all the same. You have to turn it on, use the blower, hold the blower under this spout to fill it with chaff, and it will turn it into silage. Once this is full, we will I'll show you where the feed trigger is and whatnot on this farm for the cows. There's only one cow barn on this farm, so. Okay, so we're full. And pull around here. Open the gate. This is your animal load trigger right here. Guess I didn't go over that in the other ones, but it's pretty obvious where they are. So, and then this right here on this side of the trough here is the feed trigger. So you have to pull around on this side. Can't be on this side. You gotta be on this side. So one thing I should mention with this farm is that this farm does not have a molasses tank or a roller mill for your CCM. So in order to do that, let's jump up to this kind of store area where pretty much you have all your like buy points and whatnot. I have a truck set up here just in demonstration for this. So we're up here, pull up over here. It's where the animal dealer is. It's where you buy anhydrous because this map is anhydrous ready. And then so you turn. This is your milk sell point, which is relevant to these farms. You pull under here with these trailers. These are custom trailers that MRG provided for the map in his version 1.0 map. So to get to those, to buy those, you go into trailers, sprayers, and then your ABI mods here will have either one, the smaller one or this one, will have the ability to fill up with molasses. As you see, we can fill it up as much as we want. And then we can just bring this back to the farm, and you just kind of pull your mixer up right next to it, and you can fill molasses that way. I will show you where the roller mill is too for your CCM. So in order to have CCM available on your farm and ready to go, you have to, this is your roller mill. This is where you can produce CCM for the farms that don't have it. So you have to buy this one as well, just like on the main farm, you gotta buy it. And then you put your inoculant in here and your corn in here, and it will produce your CCM, and you pull in over under this spout here, and it will fill your trailers with CCM. And then you take that back to your farm, dump it somewhere on the ground, or however you're going to store it, and you can fill your mixer wagons that way. So we'll jump back to the farm. Wrong farm, this farm. And we are going to, I'm first going to show you where the, how to unload, if you're not using the automatic sill, like milk sale thing, which I always use, but if you're not going to use that and you like to sell your own milk, you actually have to turn on your pumps. You have to turn the pump on. It's right inside here, right next to your milk tank. And then on the outside, you can pull your truck up right here, and it will fill up your milk. It's the same on the other farms. You have to actually, there is a switch that you have to pull up, and you have to turn on your milk. Okay, so manure and straw trigger. Right in here, right inside this barn, is where your straw trigger is. As you can see, that's where the manure spawns as well. This barn needs scraped out desperately, but that's where your manure spawns, and this is also where your straw will be taken. So you just drop down your straw. Should work. Yep, it just takes it right away. So right in here, right in front of the manure point, is where you drop your straw bale, and that is where the straw spawns. What is kind of cool on this farm is that, I mean, I don't use it, but if you really want to go hardcore, you can come up here, and there is a little bale loft. So if you wanted to do like small bales, small squares, this door does open, so you could just pull your wagon right under this and drop bales down into it if you wanted to. It's kind of a cool feature. Same on this side, but this one's inside the cow pen. So, but yeah, so that's kind of a cool little feature. There's no auto load or anything on this, so that is this farm. Make sure that you're turning your Harvestor on when you want to use it. There's a production point management thing right here, so it will automatically take you into where your silo is. Right now I have 98 chaff in here and 45 or 54,000 liters of silage. So that is it. Hopefully that answers some questions for you guys. I guess one last thing while we're here. Bins are just regular old bins. They don't have the switches, so you don't need to worry about that over on this farm. Fill it from the top, take it, put your auger under, and it will fill. So just normal old bins, nothing special about those. But yep, so that's this farm, and the slurry point. I keep thinking that I'm done, but I'm not. So this slurry point is right here. So this one's kind of cool. So you come over here, stand right there, turn it on. The thing will show up, and you pull under here with your slurry tanker, and it will fill right here where this wet spot is. So, alright, that is actually it for this farm. So, hopefully this helps you out. If you guys want, comment below. If you want the other two farms to have a tutorial on them, I will happily do it. I'm always looking for different video ideas. So, that's it for this video. Hopefully that helps, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.